What if the most gripping movies you've ever seen weren't just stories, but chilling realities? From daring cons to unthinkable crimes, some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters are inspired by real-life events. These aren't just movies, they're glimpses into true tales that shock the world. Let's uncover the real stories behind the films that left audiences speechless. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. The 2005 film, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, was inspired by the tragic true story of Anneliese Michael, a German woman whose life ended under controversial circumstances in 1976. Anneliese began experiencing seizures in her late teens and was diagnosed with epilepsy and psychosis. However, as her condition worsened, her deeply religious family believed she was possessed by demons. Over the course of 10 months, Anneliese underwent 67 grueling exorcism sessions conducted by Catholic priests. During this time, she stopped eating and drinking, leading to her death from malnutrition and dehydration at just 23 years old. Her death led to a landmark trial in Germany, where her parents and the priests were charged with negligent homicide. The case sparked heated debates about the intersection of faith, science, and mental health. While the court convicted the defendants, sentencing them to 6 months in prison, later suspended, the case raised critical questions about religious practices and medical ethics. The Exorcism of Emily Rose dramatizes this story by blending courtroom drama with chilling flashbacks of the exorcism, leaving audiences to wrestle with the same haunting questions that the real-life case posed. Goodfellas. The 1990 film Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, is based on the true story of Henry Hill, a former mobster whose life of crime within the Lucchese crime family was as fascinating as it was dangerous. The movie draws heavily from Hill's own accounts, as chronicled in the book Wizardguide by Nicholas Pileggi. One of the film's central events, the Lufthansa heist, was a real-life robbery in 1978 at New York's John F. Kennedy Airport, where Hill and his crew stole nearly $6 million in cash and jewelry. It was one of the largest cash thefts in American history at the time, and its sheer audacity cemented its place in criminal lore. While Goodfellas captures the allure and glamour of the mob lifestyle, it doesn't shy away from its darker consequences. Hill's life spiraled out of control as he became involved in drugs, violence, and paranoia, ultimately leading to his arrest. Facing prison or potential retaliation from his associates, Hill became an informant for the FBI, providing critical testimony that helped dismantle the Lucchese crime family. The movie masterfully portrays his rise and fall, showing how the seductive power of crime comes with a devastating price. Its mix of realism and compelling storytelling has made Goodfellas a classic, while Henry Hill's real-life exploits remain a cautionary tale of ambition and betrayal. Zodiac. David Fincher's 2007 film Zodiac is a chilling dramatization of the real-life case of the Zodiac Killer, one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries. The Zodiac terrorized Northern California during the late 1960s and early 1970s, committing at least 5 confirmed murders, though he claimed responsibility for 37. The killer targeted random individuals, often couples, in secluded locations, leaving behind gruesome crime scenes. What made the Zodiac even more terrifying was his penchant for taunting law enforcement and the media through letters and cryptic ciphers, some of which remain undeciphered. His letters revealed a disturbing mixture of arrogance and a desire for infamy, solidifying his place in criminal history. The film Zodiac delves into the obsessive hunt for the killer by journalists and law enforcement, particularly Robert Graysmith, a cartoonist for the San Francisco Chronicle whose dogged pursuit of the truth became the centerpiece of the story. Despite numerous suspects, including Arthur Lee Allen, who remains the most discussed, the Zodiac was never identified, and the case remains open to this day. Fincher's film captures the frustration, fear, and relentless determination surrounding the investigation, highlighting how the Zodiac's reign of terror left a lasting scar on society and law enforcement. The story continues to fascinate and haunt true crime enthusiasts and remains a testament to the enduring enigma of the Zodiac Killer. Catch Me If You Can. Steven Spielberg's 2002 film Catch Me If You Can is a dazzling portrayal of the real-life exploits of Frank Abagnale Jr., one of the most notorious con artists in history. By the age of 21, Abagnale had committed millions of dollars worth of fraud by posing as a pilot, doctor, lawyer, and other high-profile professionals. Using his charm, intelligence, and quick thinking, he managed to forge checks and documents, fooling institutions and individuals alike. His ability to stay one step ahead of law enforcement, particularly FBI agent Joe Shee, portrayed as Carl Hanratty in the film, created a cat-and-mouse game that became legendary. The film captures the intrigue and humor of Abagnale's life while also delving into his deeper motivations, including a troubled family life and his yearning for acceptance. Eventually, Abagnale was caught in France and served prison time, but his story didn't end there. He later worked with the FBI, helping them identify and prevent check fraud. Abagnale's unique journey from criminal to crime fighter not only inspired the blockbuster film, but also highlighted how brilliance and misdirection can outwit even the most sophisticated systems. Catch Me If You Can remains a captivating blend of crime, charisma, and redemption. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Tobe Hooper's 1974 horror classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is loosely inspired by the horrific crimes of Ed Gein, a murderer and grave robber whose heinous acts shocked America in the 1950s. Gein's macabre practices included exhuming corpses and crafting items from human remains, such as lampshades and clothing. While Gein did not wield a chainsaw or commit the high body count seen in the film, his grotesque fascination with human anatomy and his isolated, eerie farmhouse served as key inspirations for Leatherface and the cannibalistic family portrayed in the movie. The film amplified Gein's dark legacy by creating a chilling narrative of terror and survival. Its unsettling atmosphere and depiction of Leatherface, a masked killer who uses a chainsaw to hunt his victims, brought a new level of horror to audiences. While The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is largely fictional, it retains the eerie essence of Gein's crimes, exploring themes of isolation, depravity, and human cruelty. The movie became a cultural phenomenon, cementing its place as a horror classic while drawing attention to one of America's most notorious real-life criminals. It's a haunting reminder of how real-life atrocities can inspire nightmares on screen. Spotlight. The 2015 film Spotlight recounts the real-life investigation by the Boston Globe's Spotlight team, which uncovered widespread sexual abuse by Catholic priests and a systemic cover-up by the church. The story begins in the early 2000s when a new editor, Marty Barron, directs the investigative team to look deeper into allegations of child abuse within the Boston Archdiocese. What started as a local investigation quickly unraveled into a global scandal, revealing that the church had knowingly reassigned abusive priests to new parishes instead of holding them accountable. The film meticulously portrays the painstaking work of investigative journalism, emphasizing the human cost of the crimes and the silence that allowed them to persist. Spotlight is not just a film about exposing abuse. It's a tribute to the power of truth and accountability. The movie highlights the courage of survivors who came forward to share their stories and the relentless dedication of journalists who pursued the truth despite institutional resistance. The real investigation led to a Pulitzer Prize for the Spotlight team in 2003 and spurred a global reckoning with abuse in religious institutions. By dramatizing these events, Spotlight sheds light on the importance of investigative reporting and holding powerful organizations accountable, making it both a gripping narrative and a poignant reminder of the impact of journalism in seeking justice. From chilling crimes to inspiring investigations, these real-life stories remind us of the thin line between reality and fiction. The films they inspired not only entertain but also shed light on the complexities of human nature, justice, and resilience. If you enjoyed exploring these fascinating connections between true crime and cinema, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that bridge the gap between the real world and the silver screen.